Peace and love, everyone. Peace. Salute to everybody. All right, y'all. So let's get into this. Now that we are merely days away from the biggest fight of the first half of the year, of course, that being with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, it seems that all of this charged up energy, that we've been seeing between these two men has garnered, ignited, and induced some very interesting commotion among some particular fighters. I guess by osmosis, they're taking in the energy and applying it to the victims right next to them, to their right, to their left. Who knows? Whatever the case is, I find it definitely to be quite peculiar, to say the least. Now, I don't know about you, but I deem the recent interaction between these two fighters, who we will get into in a moment, I deem this recent interaction as nothing less than an absolute miracle, first of all, because what I witnessed on Twitter yesterday poses and stands to have me asking some big questions, Big question marks are up in the air regarding this alleged commotion between these two guys. And I also question its credibility and believability. And I'll divulge my perspective, or the few that I have, about this abrupt onset in just a second. Now, the absolute unthinkable occurred between Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Tank Davis, where they shared quite the back and forth from the safety of their screens, mind you. All the back and forth was done behind the screen. Some seemingly strong words were exchanged, where Tank said, among a myriad of comments and replies and whatever back and forth, Tank, in one of his responses and comments, said, "I never in my life let one of these niggas touch me. I was the one running around doing them kids bad in the amateurs." Now, Shakur responded to this saying, "We can shoot the fade whenever you're ready, gangsta. I've been dying for the opportunity." Shakur then called Tank a 30-year-old prospect and said, quote, "If he was really like that, I would have been his first option, but he'd rather fight cuz who ducked me." And of course, by cuz, he's insinuating and referring to the upcoming fight with Gervonta and Frank Martin. And he alleges that Frank Martin, of course, ducked him. How? It still has yet to be proven. But this is his assumption, and this is his statement. Now, one of Gervonta's responses in the back and forth exchange said something like I said, you were under my wing until you started calling my name and letting the niggas around you hype you up. You even did an interview saying that I wouldn't fight you when you know. That's when I knew you were a cornball. Them niggas couldn't even keep up with my workouts back then. How the fuck are you telling me these kids are fucking with me? End quote. I'll try to put some sauce on that for y'all so you know what I mean, get the gist of the energy, alleged energy that was being postulated between these two men. Now, of course, in true fashion, it's like, what else could we expect except this? In true fashion, Gervonta Davis, of course, deleted the myriad tweets to Shakur. He effaced from everybody's records any shred of evidence, any shred of details and paraphernalia on the alleged crime scene. He swept it out. He came in, he mopped, he got the Clorox, and he mopped the whole scene down. As he tends to do. And to that, and seeing that happen, one can't help but ask this question: what was the point? What was the point and purpose of all of that? Now, I'd like to posit a few of my insights. The first being, they are both on an obvious clout chase. Tank is supposedly up next with his still awaiting to be announced fight against Frank Martin, allegedly in June. We are definitely on the lookout for that, but it has not been announced yet still. Okay, so we are awaiting the details of that. Tank is definitely no stranger to swooping in and trying to steal the thunder from Devin Haney. Okay, when he has a fight nearing, or whether it's after one of Dev's big fights, he tends to just come right on in and ride the bandwagon of the fever that everybody is going in on with the narrative of his fight. Everybody talking about his fight. He tends to swoop in at these specific moments. Okay, now I've seen Tank do this several times as it pertains specifically to Devin Haney. And for Shakur, he's trying to convince the world over that he's going to be making up for lost and lackluster time with his upcoming fight in July. I can't even say anticipated fight. Tank Davis and Frank Martin is definitely much anticipated, although it has not been announced yet. But as far as Shakur, I can't say with any severity that anybody is awaiting that fight in any sense of anticipation, whatever. But, he's been on a recent rampage saying things like, I'm waiting on my moment and I'm going to stay authentic forever, stay on business, my time is coming, all types of things like that. So a lot of affirmations, I guess, to keep himself out of the line of fire, because, of course, that hasn't ceased or let up yet from fans who are still highly disappointed in his last performance, and also because of that highly speculative about what people can expect to see from him in July. Now, the next matter for me, within all of this sudden movement and confabulation out of thin air between these two men, Shakur and Tank, for me has nothing to do with them marking territory, let's say, right? It has nothing to do with them claiming space or asserting a sense of dominance as warriors tend to do when they want to put one on notice, okay? But rather, its objective was to divert, shift, and deflect and redirect all of the current focus and energy from Devin and Ryan's fight. Okay, that's the obvious conclusion that one can draw, in my opinion. Okay, we are now 2 days away from this fight, you guys, between Ryan and Devin. Devin and Ryan have all eyes on them right now. It's fair to say that, okay? Especially with all the energy that's been passing between these two men. Yesterday, Devin put hands on Ryan during their face-to-face. Ryan has been out here saying that he identifies as a woman. Okay, on Twitter, he's going in on his interviews, his post-workout interviews, saying that he's going to do one better than Mike Tyson and bite more than just the ear of Devin Haney, but, bite whatever he can get his hands on in the ring. Ryan is just as bizarre as it gets, okay? And it hasn't ceased just because the fight is drawing near, okay? So all eyes are highly attuned to the fireworks that these two young men have been generating, okay? So the aim in all of this from Shakur and Tank was simply to swoop in like some thirsty-ass vultures, okay? And pick whatever scraps they think are available on the fringes of this energy wave that Ryan and Devin are generating, okay? These are the same men, mind you, the same men all of a sudden want to puff up and start bickering back and forth when they are the same ones who have refused to say each other's names for months on end, you guys. Okay, they've done everything to bypass each other, everything to evade actually materializing a fight between them, calling everybody else out except each other for months and months and months on end. They were like two ships in the night, literally passing right on by each other. No collision course, no parallel meeting, nothing. They just walk past each other constantly. Now, all of a sudden, in the dawn of the Devin Haney fight, you two gained the courage just whimsically out of nowhere. You gained the courage and the balls to come at each other and to at this person in all of your comments all of a sudden, get the fuck out of here. Okay? I don't buy one moment of it at all. Miss me with the cap. Because you know what? Right after this, basically, not only did Tank delete all of his alleged contentions that he came and wiped the scene clean of, but ultimately, real talk, all of this is farcical. It's farcical. Nothing is going to develop from this. Okay? They're like two dogs barking viciously behind the fence. Have you guys seen that? You know, that clip of the two dogs barking like they just going to eat through each other, limbs, tear each other limb from limb. Okay? And then when the fence is open, neither one has any bit of the same energy. None of them are showing teeth. All of the smoke is gone and the yelling ceases when that gate opened. None of the same energy. That's what these two remind me of, okay? You want to put on a scene and just puff up and parade around like you're going to do some shit, and to no avail. That is what I consider this back and forth exchange to be. Absolute folly. 100% folly. Okay? Just sit back and watch someone who is really about it and who is really out here lining up all the smoke he can get with the best who are willing to step in the ring with him. Just watch Devin at work. Devin is putting in more work than you guys know how to, apparently. Okay? All of their work is done on Twitter. You know what I mean? Hopefully Tank comes out of hiding and makes his own fight announcement so that we can determine if he's even still worthy of being in anybody's top 5. He better keep his eyes on the real dog in front of him, okay, for his upcoming fight, because, when the gate opens in that ring, Frank Martin is stepping with every bit of bad intention and a mission, okay? Now, as far as Shakur needs to worry about the leftovers that Frank already ran through, that he'll be facing later in July, okay? Worry about what you got in front of you and stop all this sauntering around as if you with the shits, because obviously you have not been and you are not now. I wonder if all this talk will commence between them when they're both done with their battles, or will they retreat back to the shadows, or better yet, behind their screens. We'll see what unfolds, you guys. I'm definitely not fooled. On to the next with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. That is where the attention deserves to be. That is where the smoke will actually take place. That's where things will heat up and the action will take place, okay? Between an actual fight that's taking place this Saturday, not some chatty-patty exchange of words and evasion on Twitter. Anyway, I'm on to the next, you guys. Peace.